Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, so before we get into the meat and potatoes, I gotta let you know, it's my duty. The Hurt season caps are still in full effect. Make sure you tap in with the print champs to get your Hurt season hat. Also, the bucket hats just dropped a couple days ago. I'm waiting for mine to get in the mail so you can see how I look on my head. But order it right now. You will not be sorry. Go ahead and get that, man. And Father's Day is coming up. I'm gonna keep letting y'all know. Don't forget about Pops. Pops is just as important as Mom. Maybe a little less. But he's important too. So make sure you take care of Pops and grab him something from Manscaped. Lawnmower 4.0s right here, man. They jumping off the shelf, man. One of the best razors available. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, use code Brunson, save 20% off, and get free shipping. The free shipping, I fall for that for y'all. So today is the day. It is June 1st. A lot of stuff could be possibly happening. A lot of stuff could be in the works. The Philadelphia Eagles should be freeing up some money today. We should get some announcements on that. Some we already know. We already know the saving of the $4 million after, release Malik Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. You know you're going to save that $4 million there. You can't really do a lot with $4 million, so they're banking on having around $12.5 million total after the day, after you get rid of Zach Ertz or trade Zach Ertz, however way you do it. A Zach Ertz trade has to happen for the Philadelphia Eagles to have a little bit of money to play with. Now, if you trade him, you free yourself of the contract because he's traded. If you release him, I think you got to eat a little bit of that next year, and you free up a little bit of it this year. So the Philadelphia Eagles got some decisions to make. Is it worth it to have Zach Ertz still on the roster next season? Reports came out that Zach Ertz is a little slower, a little heavier, not moving how he used to move. But they always do this to players. They always do this to players who they're not used to suckling at the teat of. And this is just what the media does. Zach Ertz, it's easier to tarnish Zach Ertz's name and leave Julio Jones' name still intact because it makes more sense for some reason. When all actuality, Julio Jones is due $15 million this year and he's 32 years old. You know what I mean? So let's do some math on that. The Philadelphia Eagles could possibly have $12 million, $12.5 million freed up of cap space today, and Julio Jones' contract is $15 million. You can't afford Julio Jones unless you restructure another veteran, which we don't want to do. We want to continue to get younger, and unless you throw in somebody else in the deal, in the mix as well for Julio Jones. Listen, we can't afford him. So the Julio Jones talk is kind of, I'm not going to say it's nonsense. There's always a way. So I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if they made something happen for Julio Jones. But the bottom line is you gotta go above and beyond to get a 32-year-old wide receiver who, he's one of them ones. He's one of the best wide receivers of all time. But at the same time, he's 32 years old. When's the last time he played a full season? Them the things that are coming to my mind. I'm not just looking at the name. See, some of y'all look at the sneaker and say, "Oh, that's a Gucci sneaker," but it's ugly as hell. But it's still Gucci though. I'm not doing that with Julio Jones. I need somebody that's serviceable, somebody that's young, somebody that has some upside. You already know what you're getting in Julio. No doubt in my mind that our offense will be explosive with Julio Jones, but is the cost too much? Is the cost too much? Something you got to take into consideration. With that being said, with this $12 million, if you can get something done with Zach Ertz, getting Zach Ertz out of the picture, you can get some things done still with $12.5 million. I'm looking at something on the lines of a Richard Sherman type situation. I would love to get Richard Sherman for cheap right now on a 1-year deal. Opposite side of Slay. A lot of people are crying about how that's a big issue. This is the chance to solidify something like that. So that this kind of makes sense. You probably could beef up things and get another linebacker and still have some money to play with. You still probably do have to sign a few veterans. A few rookies. But look. You got the tools in place. Me, I'd rather bank on Trayvon Grimes and develop Trayvon Grimes instead of going after Julio Jones for 1 year, 1 or 2 years. What are you going to do with Julio Jones when he turns 34? That's right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do with him? I mean, it makes perfect sense to me, man. But the Philadelphia Eagles have to move Zach Ertz. You have to move Zach Ertz. A lot is riding on this, and the market seems to have been dried up. One big contender for the Zach Ertz sweepstakes was the Buffalo Bills. A lot of people are talking about Buffalo. Listen, I would love to have Zach Ertz out of the conference and not have Zach Ertz paired with Carson Wentz. I don't want Zach Ertz in Indy, or I don't want him in the conference. You could, I mean, in the division. You could send him almost anywhere else after that, and I wouldn't really mind it. But Zach Ertz is definitely an upgrade for any offense that he goes to. A lot of people want Zach Ertz gone, in my opinion, because it's the popular thing to say. Don't forget what Zach Ertz has done for you, man. Don't forget what he's done for you. That's all I'm going to say, man. So I'm going to wish Zach Ertz well because he could be gone this week. A lot of people were waiting for June 1st to start making these moves and start announcing these trades. This week, we probably could hear that Malik Jackson signed somewhere. We could hear that Alshon Jeffrey signed somewhere. And we could hear that Zach Ertz has been traded. So there's a lot of stuff that could happen before the end of this week is out. But I think it's going to be a crazy one. You know what I'm saying? I tried to hold off in making this video because I felt like something was going to happen and I'm going to have to end up making another video later. But that's the nature of the beast. It is what it is. Like I said, man, just to recap real quick, I'm not really concerned with the Julio Jones chatter because in my estimation, I don't think we can afford him. You got to do too much to go get him. Moving Zach Ertz is key. You got to save some money so you can get more important pieces like another cornerback. I think Richard Sherman does our roster more good than a potential, going out of the way for Julio Jones. Richard Sherman does our roster better than potentially going out of the way for Julio Jones. And I'll stand by that. Even though I wouldn't be mad if you got Julio Jones at all, because I know Julio Jones still does have a strong 2 years left in the tank. But if we can build this defense and let our young guys, get it together and get behind this offensive line, the future is looking real promising for the Philadelphia Eagles and what we got going forward. But today is the day, man. Expect some news, and you already know who's going to be here to let you know about the news, man. You already know the vibe.